Boom, boom. Well, now we're live. I hope. Fuck. Okay, never mind. We're live. It's working. It's working. And if it's not, I'm just gonna assume it is. So, how are you both doing tonight?
I am drawing the wrong frames.
I can see myself in stream setting up OBS. Now we're live. It's broadcasting the wrong window. Fuck. Oh. Okay, never mind. We're live. It's working. It's working. Wow. And if it's not, I'm just gonna assume it is. No, so how are say you something. Save tonight? Me.
I am drawing the wrong frames.
I cry in the shower. Thank you.
I can see myself in boy, this is great. OBS. Now we're
Yep.
live. It's broadcasting the wrong window. The audio works, though. That's good.
Oh shit, we're famous. We have 2 views.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
I'll just wait for the kiddos to come
It's
in.
working. It's working. Wow. And if it's not, I'm just gonna assume it is. No, so how are say you something. Save tonight? Me.
I am drawing.
Okay, I was just listening real quick to make sure that the audio is working. Everything's good.
Wow, double coughing at the time.
Yeah.
I'm actually fucking sick. It's so cold here. I have to wear a sweater.
Oh, sweet.
I run a professional show here. Not only was I streaming the wrong window, but I had no audio. But now we're good. So, again, second time, I have Sweetcommando and Pikapetey here, and we're gonna talk about animation, the magical world of 2D images strung into a string.
Yeah, man. If you're gonna do talk about animation, I might as well do this. There. Now you can see my screen. Now I could be broadcasted to 2 streams at once with my screen. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Petey's stream.
Don't worry, I won't be drawing dicks.
Thank you. Muchos gracias. I don't even think YouTube cares. I really don't. I think if you get like 100,000 subscribers, then they care if you draw dicks, but if you're below that threshold.
Well, actually, if you know you're gonna play stuff and draw like dicks and stuff, if you delete it right after the stream, if you delete the recording, it doesn't go through the scanners.
Yep, that's one thing you gotta know. If you put it on private or unlisted, it's still there.
Yeah,
in fact, they do archive the deleted videos. They just don't look at them.
Yeah.
You know what would be the point?
Yeah, and but you won't get any monetization. So if you're going after that, then
right. If you're a greedy fuck, then well, that ain't gonna work out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Animators have it particularly hard with monetization.
I don't want to talk about that shit. That gets
no
old.
problem. We can just scoot right by that. Let's talk about something a little bit more fun.
Hold up, I have something to add to that because I haven't talked about it. Basically, it's a crock of fucking shit. Well, what was that sound? What the fuck's happening?
I don't know who booped it. It may have been me.
I heard it boop too.
We'll just assume that it's okay. What were you gonna say, Sweetcommando?
Huh?
What were you gonna say, Sweetcommando?
Oh, basically, it's a piece of shit.
Well,
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it doesn't work in favor for animators. It's just the bottom line. And that's all it is. Because if it was still based on view count, people figured out that they could exploit the view count with this whole like reply girl thing, and they were exploiting that. And then the user base was getting frustrated because they couldn't. The Ultimate Fighting Challenge from last night. Like, let's click on it, and because they had the thumbnail and everything, and then it was just a guy sitting on the couch talking about the Ultimate Fighting Challenge that happened last night and his thoughts on it, and the viewers were just like, "What the fuck?" And then they would leave, but that guy would still get a view count.
We should start a Let's Play channel, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it for the money, guys. Come on.
Nah, that won't work. It won't work anymore. There's too many of them out there.
No, at this point, it's the cult of personality, which I'm totally fine with. That's how you get your minutes.
Are you crazy? Fuck that shit. We're just yell into the fucking mic for 3 hours.
Anyways, I don't want to stick on this topic for too long. Let's move on to just the struggle that is animation, like how much effort goes into it that a lot of people probably don't realize. They think, oh yeah, you're just drawing like 10 or 20 times, which
That is still pretty hard though. Just draw the same
Okay.
shit, but slightly different 10 times.
I
That's
uh,
Yeah.
I can lay out the levels of complexity. Okay, so animating, especially if you do frame by frame animation,
Yeah,
it's
that's me.
it's similar to playing a piano. All right. Now, playing a piano, the concept is really, really fucking easy. All you have to do is push the right keys at the right time, and music comes out. Now, playing a piano like a professional that people would pay to go listen to and play, that's really hard. But you can set a baby on the chair and he'll be like da 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 smacking the keys, and that's technically still playing the piano. So it's a variable. I mean, some people like the baby smacking the keys; they find that more enjoyable, and then that's why it's art is subjective.
yeah, that's a good point. Like, I'll bring up somebody who's really good, Film Cow, one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
funniest animators on the internet. The animation quality's good, but it's not like, well, it's not like what Petey's doing. We'll put it that way.
Well, he's okay. So the thing is in animation, story is king. Story. If you have a good story, if you have good writing, it will trump any bad animation that you can spit out. Like they've literally made an entire film with nothing but crudely drawn stick figures, but because it had good dialogue and good writing, it became dick figures and had a Kickstarter and was successful. Like it really doesn't. And then people chalk it up to style, and they'll remember it as as better than it actually was. And I mean, yeah, you can get resentful as an artist and be like, well, they just drew stick figures. Why do they get all attention? Don't do that shit. Like that's only gonna bring you down. That's only gonna make you bitter and resentful of the whole system. Just be like, oh, dude, like that was such a cool idea. Like I could have, that's good for them to just think of that idea.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that. Like, it's okay here. And you know what? I'm not a huge Markiplier fan, but he did make a video recently talking about how the internet's kind of turned into this thing where everybody has to talk shit about something. And that's doubly bad for artists.
yeah, yeah. So like I mean, if I wanted to, Rose says, "How do you get Senpai to notice me in the chat box?" I'm sorry. I just ruined your day by noticing you. Anyways, the I could do dick figures if I wanted to, but I'd rather be having a nice high quality animation, something that looks appealing and has no sound to it. Like you could have it as a GIF, and it'll still be like really funny, and you'll get everything from it. And that's what to me is more important about the animation. Like if I can have something in a GIF format, and people still know what it said in there, and they still know the mood and the sound isn't almost needed. That's what I find important. That's what I hold important in animation.
I can agree with that being important. It's kind of like how you can watch a Ren and Stimpy episode with the audio muted, and you'll still get like 80% of what the cartoon was.
Mm-hmm.
The audio is definitely important, but the animation itself, the visual of it, or I guess maybe Tom and Jerry's a better example, but there's no dialogue in that, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, animation quality is really important. But like you said, if you have a script that's really funny, it can be South Park. And
Yeah.
you're totally fucking good. And audio can make a difference too, but that may be me tooting my own horn a bit. Which I love to do.
Yeah.
So how about you, Sweetcommando? What? Let me ask you a basic question that, I mean, I've asked it before to Petey, so. Sweetcommando, what got you into animation? What inspires you?
Well, guys, I'm gonna be straight up here. I was 13. I was looking at Newgrounds and I saw an Egoraptor, and then you know the rest.
Oh, Newgrounds. I'm actually going to the office on. Wait, when is this? Oh shit! Like 3 weeks from now, it'd be great.
Are you going?
Yeah, you going to Pico Day?
Nah, I got invited, but I can't afford it. So
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
live
it's
on the
just
other side.
so.
It's like $1,000 just to get there.
Yeah, I just live 2 hours from it, so I'm going to Pico Day.
That
I went
sounds
last year.
fun.
Yeah, I went last year. It was a ball.
Yeah, I do like how most animators tend to be clannish is the wrong word, but you look out after each other for the most part. I haven't seen too many animators throw each other under the bus. Let me put it that way.
Because everything else throws us under the bus. That's why.
Yeah, we got too
Exactly.
much shit to deal with.
The world's already against you, so what's the point of being like, no, fuck Igoraptor, he's an asshole. It's like, does he
Yeah,
draw
no.
good? Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, he's I mean, I know from the outside it looks like a closed circle of friends, and it's just like a whole bunch of circle jerking. I mean, jealous people will
It is.
start
It is
picking up.
most of the time, actually.
No, not really. Actually, no, it's not. If you're good enough, and they'll see, oh, this guy is actually like not a squabbling fanboy. He actually like can animate well. And then if you just treat him like a person, it's not that.
Well, there's a thin line between, like I said, a clannish behavior, a clannish type of organization of people, and an organization of people that are just hard workers, so they empathize with each other.
Well, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of people doing stuff. And if you, but you have to understand like the like Rice Pirate or even like Chris O'Neill, let's say, because he's shown his face on the internet, which I don't really, I'm not gonna try to do. But
Yeah, let's just not do that.
yeah, yeah. So like Chris O'Neill, he gets like people like messaging him all the time, and I mean, imagine if like JonTron showed up to Magfest, he would just get swamped.
Oh
You know?
fuck, he would be somebody might do something like
Yeah, there'd be no way you could get in touch with him, and that's why like it's hard to let these people know. It's just like you have to come at look at it from their perspective because they'll probably immediately take a defensive stance, expecting you to squabble over them like a fanboy. But all you gotta do is be like, "Oh, hey, John, I like your stuff."
John. Oh my god, will you come to my house?
Yeah, no.
No, I've actually had people, and this is coming from me, so take it with a
Oh,
grain.
tell your story. Tell your story about the restaurant.
Which one?
Kid in the
Oh,
restaurant.
the restaurant story. Jesus.
Yeah, tell that story.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Here's an example of why you kind of don't want to be known. So I'll keep it short because I've said it before, but I was out with a friend at a local restaurant that I really enjoy, and I was eating my chicken fried steak and my fried okra. I love it, hometown cooking. And there was a child there with his mother, I assume a single mother, I could be wrong, doesn't really matter. And the kid recognizes my voice as I'm talking to my friend, and he just starts pointing at me and goes, ah, he starts making these fucking like squealing, incomprehensible sounds, and keeps screaming, Albert, Albert. And I'm not mortified, but I got the whole restaurant staring at me like, did this man do something to that boy? Kind of like, just horribly uncomfortable. The mom can't get the kid to shut up, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm out. So we got our little takeout things. We put our fucking half-eaten food in there, and we just fucking left. Like half-eaten meal. I met my friend later at the bar, and we talked more. But yeah, I could have just said, hey kid, hey kitty, hey, I'm that guy. How would that have gone?
Yeah, that would have been weird.
There was no way to get out of that situation and not make it awkward, and that's because, and I got a different voice, just like some people look different. There's nothing I can do about it. But if you're JonTron and you go to the restaurant like that, and like one kid sees you, then you're gonna set off like a fucking chain reaction, and every child in that restaurant's gonna be snapping their fucking cell phones and going, "Hey, JonTron, it's him!" And that doesn't sound nice. Like I like the attention. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm flattered, right? But I don't want it to be one of those things to where I'm like all of a sudden ruining people's dinner because children are screaming, or I can't sit down and just be like, I'm gonna go to a restaurant and have a good time. nobody really wants that. That's why when you see celebrities, typically when they're not shooting, they tend to like they're like wearing their sunglasses, growing out their beards, and like fucking dressing differently, usually not very fancy, because they want to be able to like go to the grocery store by themselves and get their honey. Like I remember there's this one picture of Mitt Romney buying Honey Nut Cheerios. And of course somebody took a picture of him buying Honey Nut Cheerios. Why? Well, because it's Mitt Romney. Like, how agitating must that be? You're just trying to go get your fucking breakfast cereal. And people are snapping pictures at you. There's a lot to be said for privacy, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, when I say it like that, it makes me sound ungrateful, and it makes me sound like other people sound ungrateful that people appreciate them, but you can't expect people to not freak out because it's their chance to say hi. You know, that's an important thing. That's
yeah,
good.
see, the thing is, you have to keep remember, like, some of the times it's like you know, even though that person's met like so many people before, and it almost becomes like a routine, almost like it's just the same conversation over and over and over and over and over again. Like, oh my god, are you so and so? Yeah, I'm so and so. Oh my god, like I really love your stuff. Like, oh, I can't believe you're here. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm just trying to get in and out of the store. And then, oh, can I have a photo with you? And you're just like, yeah, sure. And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a very fruitful conversation. It's really nice for the person that it happens to, and
yeah, because it's the first time ever.
but
Like,
if you I can put it in a really simple manner that a lot of people can understand. So in my work, I run across a lot of homeless people, and I empathize with them. If I gave $1 to literally every homeless person that walked by, I would be at like $90 a night. You know what I mean? So you can't really afford it, and time is money, like especially to somebody in entertainment. So if every time you go out to the grocery store, it's a fucking hour-long ordeal of having long conversation with several different people, your life is just gone. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. It's like trying to jam the square peg through the round hole, unfortunately. And yeah, if you're addicted to people like that, which sometimes you probably have to be, like I wasn't addicted to that kid we just left, but if somebody's like literally standing in my way, it's like, no, I'm talking to you.
dude, if you're addicted to the person, you've made an enemy for life. You've made
They're
your
gonna
own.
go online and fuck you up.
Yeah, you've made your own syndrome from The Incredibles.
Yep. Not only will they talk shit about you locally, but it'll be on the internet within a second. It's like, oh, John Tron was addicted to me. He's an asshole in real life. He's really not that great of a person, and you should probably stop watching him. I'm not going to watch him anymore. That kind of stuff, which
Yeah.
I don't know. One, I still can't blame him. That's a problem too complex to be solved. Like the only thing that you could do in that situation is that if you're making enough money, move to a gated community. But that's the weird thing about YouTube. People are getting, and I'm going to get off this topic because it's been going on for too long.
I thought we were going to talk about animation.
Yeah. One last thing. The thing about YouTube is that you can get to the point to where you're recognizable like that and not have enough money to live in a gated community. So you're fucked. End of conversation. Back to animation.
Just never go outside. Just be in the comfort of the internet.
Hey, it works for animators.
Yeah, that's me already.
How is your social life? Sweet Commando. We'll go with
Mine?
you first.
Well, I still maintain friends. In fact, I'm going to a party today, so that's good enough. Let's just end there. I'm good. It's good enough for me not to die alone.
Good. That wasn't an animation question either. I thought it was going to be, but I framed it wrong.
No, it kind of
So,
was. I mean,
What's
everything's
your
fucked
biggest
up because of
challenge
that.
in animation? How about that?
Mine?
Yeah, you.
Just manage my time, I guess.
Petey?
For me is not letting go of me caring about what I'm doing to release something quick and crappy, because that's what the internet wants. That's what like fans want. So I just like disappear for a long time because I'm working on the next thing. But eventually, because I'm working on that next thing, it just takes so long. I just get so tired of that idea.
Oh yeah,
So-
me too. Like I have an idea, and then like a week later, I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
that compromise has to be very hard to deal with. I mean,
Well, yeah, because as you're working on something, you're always. I mean, you can't shut off the idea like part of your brain. So as you're working on something, you're buckling down and getting it done, and also doing like all your other responsibilities and not neglecting them. Um, you that idea generation's still going, and but you're like, no, 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 I can't do this idea because I had to work on this. And when you spend that long with a single joke, and we're talking like months with a single joke, you're so tired of it. Your brain is scraping for something new and interesting, that you slowly convince yourself that no one is going to like it because you don't like it. And any
Yeah, dude.
new
Like,
idea, any new idea that you get is so much better and so much more interesting, and everyone else's art becomes so much more interesting, and you're like, God, I wish I could do this other style that this artist is, but I have to maintain this current style that I'm doing for this cartoon. And that's when it really starts getting to you.
so you get kind of a creative tunnel vision to where it's like, okay, I'm starting, I'm going in, and then you look at the end, it's like, shit, that's like a fucking million miles away. I'll never reach that end.
Yeah, it's just like you're climbing a mountain, you're climbing the cliff face, and then like midway through your muscles start giving out, and you have no energy left in your body, but you're still on the side of the cliff, and you can't just like give up because otherwise you'll just fall to your death. So you like tackle in and wait there for like the rescue team to come get you.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Like that's what pretty much made me fail in animation entirely. Like that Exodus 17 cartoon. I originally intended to put lip sync in there, frames of animation. You can see a couple of frames of animation in there for what it's worth. But after I did the water, like the waves and stuff splash around and opening up, I'm like, fuck this. Post.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I feel like one thing doesn't work and you just fucking give up on the whole thing.
Yep.
Time management goes into it too, because you want to continue working on other stuff. I'm sure you have millions of ideas that you never get to put into action. It just kind of dies on the vein.
That's
Yeah, I
why
mean, like sometimes I start off and then it just like loses its flow, and I'm just like, ugh,
yeah,
why?
and that's
Why?
why
Like, what's the point?
That's why you never, because then the argument with people is like, well, why don't you post like work in progresses? And it's like, if you do that, if you post a work in progress, basically what you're doing is you're asking your audience to imagine what the final product will look like. And if you're a filmmaker, especially of the horror genre, you know that you cannot compete with your audience's imagination, because everything, like they don't show the monster, and it's even more like terrifying than it actually can be, because everyone imagines their worst personal fear, and it's catered to every single individual in your audience. So when you post like an animatic online, you're like, I'm going to make this, then you're asking your audience to imagine what it's going to look like, and obviously they're going to imagine the best thing that they've ever can imagine, because
It's just
they're
hyping it up, eh?
yeah. And then if you don't get it out, if it takes a long time, because making really really good art takes a long time, and if you spend a long time on it, eventually you start getting comments under your page. Well, I was really looking forward to this. Guess it's not happening, and then you're just like, you just set people up for disappointment. It's just a cycle of disappointment.
Yeah, because
Never.
their expectations, because they admire you, their expectation is going to be through the roof. They're going to be like, this is going to be the next good one. And by ruining any type of surprise, it does kind of put you in a situation to where, like I just said, you can't surprise them. And if you can't surprise them, like, well, we'll go with some of your animations, Petey, to where some of the facial expressions you do are just like completely unpredictable. You'd never see that coming.
Yeah.
If that was spoiled, if one frame of that was spoiled, then it does ruin the other, 30 frames that you put into it.
Yeah, imagine like every step of the production, and you're standing there and you're in every step of the production of, let's say, the new Star Wars film. Like, everything because you were there the entire time. Are you really excited to go to the theater on opening night? Probably not.
No, you already
Nothing-
read the script. You know what's gonna happen.
You read the script. You're in the editing bay. You were there when the orchestra was being like conducted. You talked that. No, you're not going to go to opening night and be excited.
Yeah, no, like I'll bring it back to what I do. When I do a countdown script and I do an improvise, if I improvise and I think, oh, that was pretty funny, that was fun. I'm sure the audience will love it. Then I listen back to it and I'm like, well, okay, that I hope they like that because I can't tell anymore. You know, I already did the joke. It's already past me. Then there's nothing for me. So then when I see people that watch it and they laugh, then I feel good about it again. Like, yeah, that was good, but I can't watch it and enjoy it myself because I already did it. I was already there. I already know.
Yeah, and so that's like a double whammy. So now you're working on this thing for so long. You're so tired of the the jokes that you're making that and you can't show anybody what you're making because you'll ruin the surprise. It's no wonder anybody animates on the internet. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Well, you're all lunatics. That's why. That's why I
And
love
that
you.
is why I hate that I love animating.
Yeah, because I'll be frank. What I do is easy. I play some video games. I'm talking to the microphone. It's about as easy as it gets. Plus, I get all the credit because I'm a personality, right? Let's go back to animation. Animators, unless you're independent, like on YouTube, I don't think you get much credit. Like people know who Ego Raptor is.
Yeah, but he does.
People are not going to know who Chuck Jones is in like 10 or 20 years. They're just going to completely forget who he is.
And that's why his creations will outlive the artist, and that's the beautiful thing. That's what you want to leave behind.
Aw, you're right, Petey. That is kind of sweet.
Everybody's going to remember Bugs Bunny, even though he didn't create Bugs Bunny. He defined like I feel like Chuck Jones defined him. Everyone's going to remember Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, like those things are legends.
Absolutely. In fact, I was watching some stuff that people are going to forget. Do you know who Private Snafu is? World
no.
War II cartoon done by MGM, all these other animation companies licensed by the U.S. government.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you don't know what it is, go check it out. We'll end it right there. But
I got a question, Crystal. No, I'm not going to BabsCon.
I like to go to a convention someday. The way that you talk them up makes them sound fun.
It's quite fun. I'm just on the East Coast now. I can't really go to the West Coast on BabsCon.
Understandable. Like, I've been on a couple of airplanes. Wasn't quite my thing. It sounds exciting until you get on it. Takeoff was fun. All the children screaming. Anyways, that has nothing to do with animation. I can't open. So, what do you project that you're going to do in the future? Like, where do you see yourself in, let's say, 10 years?
I don't know.
Great answer.
As long
How
as
about
I'm
you,
alive,
Sweet?
it's all good. As
I
long as
wanna,
I'm not dead.
Not dead.
Yeah,
I like your
so
outlook.
There we go.
Personally, I think I'm going to be king of the internet. But we'll move back to animation and off me. So,
Okay, well, I still want to be animating and supporting myself with animation. That's where I want to be.
there you go. That's what I want.
And-
I just want to reach this skill level where I'm like always satisfied. And I don't know if 10 years is. I don't know if 10 years is enough.
Dude, you don't want to reach for that. Like, don't be satisfied with your art, because then you'll stop improving. Like,
Oh no, like I
nev-
still want to learn. It's just like I can do this cool shit. So, well, like
Oh.
not always. Like I always want to challenge myself, but I just want to do something that really amazes me. So yeah.
So you want to have like your piece de resistance.
Yeah, just do really, really good shit that will make people go like, "Holy fuck, that is cool."
you know what? I will say this: it does get a lot of fun when you get to. I mean, it's really, really frustrating. Animation's so goddamn frustrating at the
Yeah.
beginning, and learning this, but now like, I know it's really, really fucking corny to say this, but every day I am more excited about the possibilities of animation than I was previously. Like, that's me every day, and
Like in terms
I
of
love
what
it.
you can do.
like in terms of what I can do, what's possible with animation, like where is it going in the future. Like I wish I could talk about my day job, but I signed a contract saying I wouldn't. So I just have to keep my mouth shut until we have our first public announcement. But oh my god, it's amazing.
I'm excited, Petey. All this secrecy.
So, and I really hope people love it. You know, I really hope it's accepted. There's a lot of like really smart people working on it. So, um,
Well, I know Pete does a lot of good stuff in 3D, but I want to move it back to 2D real quick and ask a simple question. If you could add anything to your current animation tools for 2D animation, what would it be and why?
Zerl's abilities.
Oh god, he does faces so
I,
good.
I want his speed.
And yeah, he's fucking fast. Oh he
I
is.
want Zerl's speed.
Well, that's not technically an answer to my question, but I'll accept it because it was a good answer.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fucking ace that guy is. How about you, Sweetcommando? If there's anything you could add to your current animation tool.
Well, anything that would fucking stabilize my line art, that would be good.
That's a good answer, actually. Like you're doing pretty bad when Flock Mod is comparable to Flash, except it crashes less.
Oh, I don't use Flash. I'm using Toon Boom.
Oh yeah, I was
I'm
thinking
learning
most
Toon
animators
Boom, it's
use
pretty
Flash
hard.
though, right?
Are you coming from Flash?
Mate, yeah, I've been using Flash for like 5 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for you because there's a lot of natural tendencies that you built up that are very like second nature to you in Flash, and Toon Boom looks similar to Flash enough that you try to do that. What is that beeping noise? Do you guys hear that?
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
That's not me. I don't know.
It can't be me because I'm broadcasting my beeps.
Ooh, what do we have here?
If I think it's coming from Petey. I'll be honest. I don't know. We'll ignore it for now. It's a little minor annoyance. Anyways, back to it. Yeah, the line, the shit, and this is coming from a person who's an amateur, but there's times I'll be drawing in flat. There's times I'll be drawing in Flash, and all of a sudden it'll just fill out, like it'll just turn black. Everything just turns into darkness. So it really discourages you from doing complex line work because sometimes it'll just flip out and there's nothing you can do about it, and that drawing's just not going to work. Which is a shame. Did I lose everybody?
Oh no.
Okay. Technical difficulties are a common occurrence here. That's fine. I kind of like to hear that on Conan O'Brien, just a beep that nobody knows where it's happening. That pissed them off so much. Oh, anyways, back to animation.
Back to animation for like the 10th time. Anyway,
Burned.
basically, is someone gonna continue?
Yeah, okay, I'll continue. It amazes me that Flash hasn't really been updated. Do you think, like when Macromedia?
Yeah, with Animate, because I got the Adobe Animate thing, because they renamed it for some reason.
'Cause
So
Flash has a
basically,
bad name.
it's the exact same shit. In fact, it works worse. Like, there's more bugs and stuff. So, yeah, just because it says Animate, it's not good for animation.
Well, see, they should have been doing that like a decade ago when Adobe bought Macromedia. Like once Adobe brought Macromedia wasn't doing that much with Flash, anyways. They kind of like stagnated, but then Adobe bought it, and they're like, okay, let's just sit on this.
I feel
Shit.
like because like all the programming side of Flash is dead, like ads and all that shit. So they basically wanted to like salvage as much as they could. So now they're just going for animators now because that was like the bottom of the barrel. That was like the last thing on their
I will
list or
say
whatever.
one thing I understand because I bet
I drew the wrong legs.
I wager about 80% of the animators pirated Flash, so I don't think that's where they were getting their money. So I can kind of get why they just let it stagnate and just use it for advertisement, because that's what it was built for, web stuff. But it is kind of sad that they bought it and then just said, "Oh, fuck you, animators, deal with it. You'll get around."
Actually, because Adobe is a very big conglomerate company, they don't get much They don't get there's not like an advantage for them to patch up Flash when all their other programs are making them money. They just rather focus on those.
Yeah, because
So
Photoshop's getting a bunch of good stuff, like new stuff that's actually useful, and then Flash is still a piece of shit.
yeah, well, because of the way Flash is set up, the way the back end of the program works. Um, they would actually literally have to rewrite an entire new program from the ground up in order to fix Flash's bugs, and you're not going to invest in doing that because that's a lot of money to invest in a program that's literally just fixing bugs. And so they're basically Adobe is like releasing control on the 2D animation market to just like whatever, we're just going to do Adobe Animate. But like, I mean, come on guys, like Toon Boom has already won the industry market. We're not going to compete, but everyone's still buying like Adobe Creative Suite packages, so we're just going to bundle it in with that.
And that's what they teach in schools too. Like,
Yeah.
well, you probably have more experience than I do. I know some people in the education sector, and well, for one, 2D animation's dying. I mean, it's been on a slow drip. It's not going to die all the way, but you know, it's becoming
On the internet,
specialty.
it's still alive. Like on the internet, it's still like popular.
Yeah.
But,
And then,
like,
well, see, because the reason why it's popular on the internet is because of when you have an idea, you don't really have to build up assets to animate on it. Like with 2D animation, you just kind of start drawing and go.
it's just
With
like I feel anyone can do it. Like you don't need a good computer or anything. Just
yeah.
yeah.
You don't
That's
need
a
to
hardware investment. That's a good point. Like PD's computer to do 3D animation has a Quattro card, which is a
Yeah.
specialized video card for workstations, basically. And I
Mm-hmm.
assume you have a processor that can handle a lot of floating point operations.
Yeah, but a lot of the 3D animation is just it's graphics card based, especially with rendering. Which this me drawing this line right here, that's the graphics card actually processing and generating this line. In Flash, it's actually the computer's processor, and that's why it's so buggy and has memory leaks because it I mean, you're running an operating system, a program, and you're trying to squeeze through generating imagery through a single threaded processor. It's not going to work that way. Oh yeah, Flash only uses one thread on your processor. Even though if it has multiple cores, it will only use one thread.
Oh, that's the worst. So yeah, you can have your like brand new fucking $600 processor, but if it's only 3 gigahertz on each core, then you're not going to be doing any better than somebody at the Pentium 4.
Yep.
That's such a pain. I was going to buy a core processor, but then I thought about it. I'm like, wow, nothing uses this. It won't be used for hardly anything.
Then that's why Flash crashes all the time, because it's trying to squeeze through everything and generating imagery in the workspace through one thread.
Which is just unheard of this day. It's horribly archaic.
That's why, because it's the back the base part of the program is just they didn't have multiple cores when it came out, and they didn't built it they didn't build the program to be able to handle like that kind of upgrade.
Yeah, that's sad. I understand why it's like that. I mean, money, that's what it all boils down to. But you do
Yeah,
have
it's
Toon
expensive
Boom,
as shit
so
as
they're all
well.
alternatives at least. What was that, Sweetcommando?
It's fucking expensive as well. Like if you actually buy it, so it's like it goes into the thousands, I think.
Yep. That's why a lot of animators pirated. Photoshop is one of the most pirated pieces of software of all time because, well, most people are amateurs and they don't want to spend. Even back then, it's like fucking 150 to 200 bucks for a copy of Photoshop. Now they got it down to a subscription license, which honestly is way more sane. Like, how much is Toon Boom now? Like 15 bucks a month or something like that?
I had no idea.
Well, I've heard it was something like that, which that's way more accessible to, say, a college student or something like that. And schools will get you a copy that you can use at home.
Oh, it's very funny with Autodesk. You could just like go on the Autodesk website and go, Autodesk, I'm a student at a college and I need your software, please, to learn on. Please give me your software. And then they're like, sure, yeah, sure. Here's a student copy. And the only difference about it is that it puts it in the code and it'll just say this is made with the student license of Autodesk or whatever.
Well, that's good. Autodesk, in my opinion, just for that's a really good company because they know that if you can't get it through that method, then you're just gonna pirate it.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll get a Bitcoin miner put on your computer, but hey, yeah, animation is a tough thing on a technical detail. Let's get off the technical stuff though. Let's go back to the psychology of animation.
Oh, that's a really interesting topic. Okay, so why not just like talk about your ideas on a in front of a camera, and do like have your ideas go out that way. Well, there's this weird thing that the audience does with animation, that they just kind of like, you can do really offensive and raunchy things with it. You can really slander someone. You can really do you can really slander someone or really make a satire point that like could offend a lot of people, and people don't get as angry as if you got in front of a camera and said those same things. Like, because the cartoon characters saying those things, it's like the blow is softer.
Yeah, like
But
you put work into it, you actually put effort to it, to where if somebody's just on camera and they say, "Yeah, I don't like damn Mexicans,"
like, imagine, and it gets spread better. Like, imagine if South Park was a live action show and they did that type of shit. That would never fly. That would
oh,
never fly on the
it
air.
would be really hard to get actors too to be like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be Mr. Garrison." No.
but because it's animated, everyone is just like, "Oh, those South Park rascal guys! Like, how dare they?"
And they can much
And
more effectively use voice acting than a regular actor, because a regular actor will have to emote, he'll have to speak into a proper way so they can be picked up on the microphone. A huge production, but if they're going to do Mr. Garrison's voice, they know the characters are internalized, and they can emote into the microphone and put it into the animation, and it's a very, very nice blend of acting both in the vocal form and in the animation form. And acting in animation is crucial. Like, that's a huge part. Even in a show like South Park, to where the animation is minimalized, you'll know when it's ham-fisted.
okay, I got a comment in the chat. Logan Child says, "Why is Return of Goo's animation more superior than Sweetcommando's animation?"
Oh shit!
Dude,
Called out on stream.
dude, that's not cool. Like, come on.
That is kind of mean.
Yeah, that's like a really douchey thing to do, because you're only just gonna make the other you're gonna make both artists feel bad. Like, yeah, Return of Goo does like really good stuff, but so does Sweet Commando.
Spinal
And
Palm does great too. People give him
Yeah.
a lot of shit.
All right, guys. Let's just say everyone on the fucking Super Planet Dolan thing is doing a good job.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just maybe the styles are a bit different, but other than that, I think it's all equally good.
When that does open up a new topic, style. Now, we'll take Super Planet Dolan as an example. I love Chris's style. He does great animation. Have you seen some of the designs that he's done? They're like fucking amazing. But he draws the characters differently, and that seems to turn some people off. Now, when it comes down to the style, how married are you to your own styles? Or would you switch it up and try to do something that's not in your comfort zone? If it was
yeah.
Well,
Most definitely, yes. Yeah. I would love to be a artistic chameleon where I can blend in and do another thing, and I could learn something new. Um, if I'm trying to copy someone else's style, like a really good like exercise to do is if you go onto like an image board site where a whole bunch of artists like post their work publicly, but anybody can post art from that artist too, like just up on there. They're rare to find, but they're out there. And you go and you pick an artist that draws in a particular way, and you draw in the same style and post it up there under that artist's name. And then if the artists themselves come on, they're like, I can't even remember drawing this. Like, did I draw this? I don't know anymore. I was really drunk last night, and you're just like, yes, victory for me.
well, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So yeah, I figure if you want to make an animator impressed, copy everything that they do and make them question whether or not they did it.
No, but you can't. It's got to be a silent victory, because you can't because you'll just seem like a douche if you come out and be like, "Ha! I fooled you," and that just make you look like really bad.
Don't be
all
like,
right?
see, I
So
can do what you do. It's really
because
easy. Anybody
because
can. It
yeah,
needs
yeah,
to be
because
flattering, not like mockery.
no, it's you just shut up and don't tell anyone, and you just like sticker to yourself, and you're just like they don't know, yee. And um, and take that as a personal win, like uh if you get it's like getting in shape, right? Like no one's gonna be like congratulating you. Oh man, you got in shape. You lost like 40 pounds. No one really fucking cares. But it's your personal victory. I can now fit my pants on again.
Yeah, I'm fuckable. Anyways, I'm getting off topic again. Yeah, I think if I was one of the little imaginary fantasies I had in my head was to draw something exactly like Raptor, make it like a 5-minute cartoon, and then sign his name at the end of it, and just put it up there. Never say who did it. Don't take credit for it, but just have that out there and just have him question, did I make this like 5 years ago? Did somebody hack my hard drive out? I don't know. That's a little bit mean, but I think I'm with you, Petey, on that. Getting stuck into one style is severely limiting yourself.
Yeah, I got shit. I keep screwing up for leg.
But how about you, Sweetcommando? If you were going to steal another artist's soul.
Already have.
Okay, if you're going to steal another artist's soul in addition
Already
to the one
have.
that you did.
Alright, so basically...
Whose soul did you steal, Sweetcommando?
When I was starting out, I was like fucking tracing shit from Raptor and fucking Oni. But that was like, cause I couldn't draw back then. I was like 13, so
Yeah, everybody went through a tracing phase. It seems like.
Yeah, but now I can't get rid of that shit. Like when I want to draw an exaggerated face, I always do Raptor. It's I don't know. Like I don't really idolize him anymore. It's just that like I started off being inspired by him.
He'll always be deep
But now I don't
inside
fucking know.
you.
I have like other inspirations now, but I can't really do their styles. Like I don't really want to copy them, but just something. I don't know. Just like that's what inspiration is, though. Not
Yeah,
exactly.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I don't. I never like. I always thought that like not going through a copying everybody phase was going to hinder me. But I keep hearing stories where like people who are really into anime and they copy a whole bunch of anime and now they can't get anime out of their style. I it kind of makes me like glad I never went through that. I was
did. I
thrown.
had a whole year. I did that for like a whole year. Didn't go that well.
Yeah.
I just could like probably draw like an anime eye. I'm like cool. Yeah, I never did anything else with that.
Well, there's a lot of logic behind that because I'll throw myself in as an example. I've studied nobody. I have no technique or anything like that. So anything that I draw is just my thing. And I'm sure that's similar to other people's styles in certain ways. But for the most part, it's just scribbles. I guess is the best way to put it. So while it's good to have your own unique style that's all your own, if you don't take inspiration, if you don't learn fundamentals, then you end up like me to where I couldn't do a 10-frame walk cycle to save my life. That would take me months.
I still can't do that, by the way.
Walk cycles piss me off.
Oh, they're pretty tricky. I'm doing one right now.
I'm trying to do walk cycles in pixel animation with, I think my ratio's like, let's see, like about 60 pixels high, then 30 pixels wide. And the abstract nature of it is just kicking my dick in. But on the plus side, once I get the walk cycle down, because the pixel ratio is so small, I can recycle a lot of elements of it. Which I know is lazy, but I'm not fucking Petey, all right? I'm not even, what's that guy that did that really good pixel... Oh, fuck, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Like, he was in... I think he did stuff for Scott Pilgrim, the video game.
Oh, that guy. Wait, didn't he do a Homer Simpson, like a Simpson episode
Simpsons.
intro?
It's like King...
He also did... Yeah, that guy's been getting really popular lately.
Yeah, Kings of something, 1 million. He used to work on Game Boy Advance games. I idolize that guy really hard.
Yeah.
Like, there's proof right there that, you can take an abstract concept like pixel animation and turn it into something that's just mind-blowing. Which maybe I'm not aligned by calling pixel animation abstract, but it is to me.
Oh, Sammy Kuhn says, I hate when people copy things and other people defend them, and they're improving, so technically it's not stealing, okay? And it's full on trace. Yeah, like that's the thing. If you're gonna copy someone to study their work, don't post it.
Yeah, I feel guilty when I do something like that.
Show
To
it
interrupt
to your
everybody
friends.
real quick, the guy who we were talking about was Paul Robertson.
Okay.
Credit where credit's due. Anyways, please continue.
Yeah, just like if you're gonna do that as an artist, it's a really great learning tool. It's a really good to like deconstruct someone else's work, but just don't post it. Use it as a learning tool. Like there are hundreds of thousands of sketches that no one ever sees from my stuff because I use it as a learning tool.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's okay to share it, but if it's a direct trace, then no. That's
Tracing won't teach you anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might teach you a little bit about line control, but not much.
Like if you're gonna trace something, trace it and then immediately after you're done tracing it, draw the same character again in the same style, but from a different pose.
Yeah, there you go. Or take that one frame, like you said, in a different pose, then turn it into like a 3-frame animation of a character turning. Like, bring it to life.
Yeah.
That would be really good practice, I'd think. So that brings up another topic. What do you think is the best way to practice? To, like, if you really want to learn how to give a character motion, where would you say beginners out there in the audience should start? Like, what?
Just start simple.
Yeah, so...
Do that,
sorry.
the bouncing ball test, just do that shit, and then already teaching you a lot.
Do simple GIFs, all right? Make little GIFs on the internet, post them. YouTube is not a good platform to post up like a GIF or whatever, unless it's like looping to an anime song. Don't do anime. But just push yourself. Tumblr is actually a really good platform for GIFs, and so is Twitter, but more so Tumblr. But just don't answer any questions and don't engage with anybody. Just
I
just post it and forget about it. And
just post it.
Kind of what I like about
look
Twitter.
back at it every now and then.
Do not check your likes. Do not check your engagement. Just don't look at your dashboard. Just post and forget about it. And just use it as strictly a learning tool, and just to get better. Because you have to ask yourself if do you want to become a better artist, or do you just want a whole bunch of attention? And that's the thing that I see a lot of new animators making mistakes.
I'm gonna be honest here. That was the problem with me when I was starting out, because my first cartoon was a fucking awesome parody, like you guys did. That's because I was a little bitch back then. I was just doing it for attention, but that didn't fly that well. And so basically I just did it because I liked it and I got better. I mean, I didn't get attention when I did it when I liked it, but I was happy because I was getting better. Like I didn't want people to see it. I mean, I did, but that would be nice. But they didn't see it, and I felt okay. Didn't feel bad.
Yeah, just don't do animation for attention. There are far easier ways of getting attention if you crave it that much. But just realize the attention that you get from the internet is hollow.
It won't ever be enough. And I'll go further, even in like real life. And I've been a local celebrity before. I've like worked out in the sidewalk, and I've made a name for myself. Eventually, it doesn't matter. You'll hit that glass ceiling, and it won't be anything to you. And when people start gawking over you, all you're going to be able to do is politely smile and say, that's cool. Then you're going to want to get back to work and make more money. And there's a glass ceiling for that shit, and you will hit it.
I feel like at some point it just becomes normal. You don't really give a fuck anymore.
Yep, it's like a hot bath, man.
I feel like it's a one-time thing. Just like when you get popular, you're like, cool. And then you never look back. You don't give a shit. It's just a normal thing in your day.
If you get addicted to it, you'll start looking for other avenues to get that attention. And you'll be in this horrible state to where you don't have a focus.
It'll be see, the thing is that you come to realize that I mean, sure, these people can say like they love you and like, oh my god, Pikapetey, I love you. It's like, but I mean, that's nice to say that, but I know for a fact that they don't love me personally. They love what I create. They love my creations. They love my art, and that's what they're saying. Like,
But
you
to be
guys know.
fair, I would actually prefer it if people liked me for my work rather than me. I would prefer that.
Well, that's a
I
fair
think I'm.
opinion.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I mean, if I'm like if I fall in my home and I break my leg and I I fall in and I can't get up, like I know my internet friends are like people who are fans of my work, they're not gonna come and take me to the hospital. Those are your close friends that are gonna look out for you. Like,
No, nobody do that for me. That's why I try to separate myself from the character that Vim and everybody else designed to Danger Dolan and what I do here. But it seems an inevitable thing for, and this is a personal concern as a voice actor. It's way off of a base of what we're supposed to be talking about, but it goes into the attention thing. It's not a healthy thing at the end of the day. It really isn't. Like, it should be one of those things where it's like, oh, that's cool, people appreciate me, and it should give you a little bit of a warm feeling deep inside, but that shouldn't be the thread that you're hanging by.
yeah,
And that goes doubly true for animation, I think. Because then
I
you're going
feel
to be
like
endlessly making stuff for people, and probably
I feel
for
once
not
it
money.
actually affects your personality, then you better stop, or better like take a step back if it affects your personality in real life.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Especially if it's not coming from a real place. Like if people are into you because this magical My Little Pony thing that you do. Then it's not when they see that you're like a human being, like just a regular person, like everybody else. They're not going to be nearly as like. No, they may be, but I don't think they're going to be nearly as like starstruck. And if you're hooked on that attention, you're going to be very disappointed when people see you in real life and go, oh, hey, it's that guy. I really like your cartoons. Those are really good. I don't give a shit about you, though, so I'm going to go find JonTron.
well, and then you realize like, I mean, everyone has their worst moments. Like, everyone has their worst moments and that they're not proud of. It's just human nature. You get emotionally charged, you say something, you put your foot in the mouth. Hey, it happens. It happens to everyone. You get too drunk, or you're just like you haven't slept all night and you're just really grumpy at that moment. But everyone's like craving your attention. If you say something, just like one thing that later that you regret, your fans will hound you on it and just bombard you with it, and they'll leave you. They'll leave you just like that. And your friends, your actual friends, they'll understand and they'll realize, dude, like you were in a moment, man. Like what the fuck was that? And you're just like, dude, I just was pissed off. Sorry. I didn't really mean what I said. I was just emotionally charged. And your friends will forgive you. Your fans will not.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You don't ever talk shit about your fans. There's no benefit to that. Like, even if they're wrong, this is something about criticism a lot of people fuck up. To be able to take criticism properly, you need to be able to accept it when somebody makes a bad and wrong criticism and move on. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to tell them that they're wrong. Just let people be wrong. You don't have to fight everything. If I fought everything,
even
my first fucking month doing this voice acting gig, I would have been eaten alive.
yeah. I would have. You just all you gotta do is be like, oh, those are interesting points.
Yeah, well, let's make an example. Let's say somebody goes up to Petey and says, Petey, I think you stole your animation. It looks really, really similar to this, and I think it sucks. The wrong thing for Petey to do in that situation is say, no, excuse me, you're wrong, and this is why, and go fuck yourself. Yeah, it's tempting you want to because the person's lying. They're not saying the truth. But you have nothing to gain by proving that person wrong and going out there and making them look like an idiot, or bigger idiot, I guess is the best way to put it.
Normally, I when they point something out, of my animation that reminds me of similar stuff, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I wanted it to feel like that. Like that was you spot my inspiration for the shot. So they're like they saw the pony walking like doing like a butt shake at the end of PastaCon, and they're just like, oh, you stole that from the Lion King when Simba's walking across the log, and I'm like, technically no. I mean, but I did have that scene in mind when I was animating it, so I guess it showed through, and I'm successful about that.
Yeah, again, there's no reason to argue it though. Like, what's the best case scenario? You prove a fan wrong, right? That's it. You just wasted time out of your day to do that. And it can make you look like a huge asshole. It really can. Not that that should be your main concern. There's plenty of assholes that are successful. Look at me. But the main deal is that you got to be able to let people be wrong. Give them the right to do that. You're in the spotlight, especially as an animator, because you're talented. You have something that people can't just naturally have. That's just my opinion on that. So, Sweetcommando, did you ever think you would be animating for Danger Dolan? Like, did you ever think you'd be animating for anybody for money?
I didn't even think I was gonna be animating. Like, I started drawing like maybe 5 years ago, and before that I probably never picked up a pencil to draw. So, I don't know. I would have probably done fucking writing or some shit. So yeah, the fact that I've got pretty far, you could say that.
That's interesting. I used to follow you on YouTube before you went on Dolan.
Yeah,
so when I heard that Dolan hired Sweetcommando, I was like, oh shit, I know that guy. He's good.
I was actually so fucking surprised that he hired me, because this was before he was like trying to start up like an animation channel. I was just doing like channel design work for him. So yeah, that was really fucking weird, because I thought it was like a one-time thing where he just designed his channel, he paid me, and I would have left. And then he called me back for the animation channel. I'm like, holy fucking shit.
Oh man, I'm glad you're on, man. That's kind of what happened with me. I applied for the job, and it was basically put under like, hey, do you want to do cartoon voiceover? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, here's my YouTube videos. Look at me. Because I'll jump at anything. But when he called me, when he said, here's a test script, do a top 10, and I recorded, then he posted it. I was like, oh shit, you posted that? I was like hamming it up and being like a fucking asshole. And once I found out I was going to continue doing it, I was really happy. So when I saw that he got you on, Return of the Goo on, and Chris, Spinal Palm on, all these people that I've like seen before like a year ago, before I even did any of this stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I get to work with these fucking talented people. This is great. So it made me really happy. So I hope you're happy with it too.
Yeah, the other thing is that I was like still in high school, so I was fucking working at McDonald's, and I had no idea how I was gonna get from there to do anything else. And then this just randomly came along out of nowhere. I was like, holy shit. So that was like, that probably saved me from something, I don't know.
Maybe, who knows. Now, Petey's living the dream right now, actually.
I stepped on a leprechaun and killed him. So my condolences go out to his family.
That was your dream, to kill a leprechaun? Well, that's pretty interesting.
No, I must have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in where I am now. That I can't talk about, unfortunately.
Right, you can't discuss it too much, but needless to say, I'll let Petey say what he needs to say about it. And I won't. You know me. I'm pretty good with this kind of stuff. Right. Anyways, to the point. Petey's living the dream. And I think that's really cool. It's nice to see people like Petey and Sweetcommando who, without these jobs, getting a job in animation seems impossible these days.
It's really weird when you first start getting paid for your animation, because it seems wrong. It seems wrong at a level. It's like, what? At first it locked me up, because I was just like, wait, I'm like, did I trick them into paying me for this?
Is this stable?
I normally just yeah, and you expect it to not last, because you're like, it's so unusual. You're like, just like, wait, why are they're actually paying me to just do stuff I like to do, and then you just then you accept it after a while, and then you just don't worry about getting paid. You're just like, oh hey, my money, cool, all right, it's cool, yay. And I feel better. I'm not stressed out all the time. It's great. And now I can come home and I do this as a relaxing thing. And it's just a lot and I'm actually drawing better because I am relaxed. So there's that part too. But it all depends under like who you're working under. Because if you're working under like a dick,
Yeah, if you're in like
that's
rough draft Korea, I got a feeling it wouldn't be
yeah.
quite as fun. And I've heard of people that worked for Fox Studios and other places like that to where, yeah, it was really cool. They didn't pay me shit, and they were really awful to me, and the deadlines were unreasonable.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it all depends on who you're working for, and if you're working for like a dick, just get out. It's not worth risking your health over because if they're treating you like crap, um, they're not gonna like it's not gonna pay off.
Oh,
They're
and
not gonna.
they'll get rid of you.
Yeah, they'll just toss you
You
if
can
they're
do
already.
a perfectly fine job. It's like, well, that series is over, so see you later. And that happens with game designers and developers all
Yeah,
the time.
and they'll never even think about mentioning you again because they in the narcissist eyes they did all the work and it's all their reward and they'll step on people because if you're working under a dick like you're working under a narcissist and don't just don't do that
Yeah,
because they don't
I can
care
see
about
that.
you.
That's a huge problem on the internet, but I can see that being an even larger problem in the art community.
Yeah, especially when you get these starry-eyed like people coming right out of college and they're like, "Yeah, I got a job in a studio," and then they're just like, "Oh, it's gonna pay off like working 16-hour days. Oh, they want to work. We work 20 hours. Yeah, sure." And then like a couple of years go by and their body starts giving out on them, because human body just can't take that, and and sure enough, like they're like, but it's gonna pay off, right? And no, we just got a fresh new batch of college students. Get the fuck out, you old hag. And now they got like chronic back pain and stuff, and it's not worth it.
I can bring up another example. There's game designer David Jaffe. I don't know if you've heard of him. He made one of my favorite games. He interacted with the community I was in, and we loved the guy. We worship him like a god. Then he released a couple of games that didn't quite meet people's expectations, and they turned on him fast. And it obviously got to the point to where he didn't want to work for Sony anymore. He didn't want to work for a big studio. He wanted to do an independent thing to where he's working for his own little... He's in charge of a smaller company that's doing a smaller game. And he kept getting dragged back in. So he did Calling All Cars, which was a small game. People didn't like it, got panned. Did, more consulting on God of War. Did a new Twisted Metal game, which was supposed to be a downloadable content game that got expanded into a big one. And this is just me talking from what I think happened. I think he just said, fuck it, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this big shit anymore. I'm just done. And he pretty much, he didn't cut his ties with Sony, but he definitely turned away, I would assume, much larger, bigger jobs because he's like, I just want to do my thing.
Nocturnal Sea Goat says, I want to work for Disney Animation, but I think I'm aiming way too high. Dude, you're not aiming way too high. You're limiting yourself. Like, I mean, in order for you, like, let's be reasonable. Let's talk reality here. Like, in order for you, Disney already has their animators. Like, for you to get a job at Disney, you would have to replace someone's current job.
Ooh.
And do you really want to be a guy who takes a job away from someone else? Like, that's kind of bad. Or you'd be on temporary hire for crunch time and you would have it for like a couple of weeks and then they'd just get rid of you. Dude, like, find your new avenue. Like, find the newest thing that you would get your animation into and then do that, because it'll probably be an industry that's really exciting and new and fresh and no one's ever done it before. And that right there, that's an exciting career to have. Like, to have something that no one else is doing before, and you're knowing that you're pioneering this like brand new industry.
Yeah, we'll put it out there. I mean, like, today anybody can get their name out there. If one, you're good enough, and two, you're lucky. There's definitely a luck factor, but
Oh yeah, there's a big luck factor.
and that goes with getting a job anywhere, even. But that being said, even if you can't get the job, even if nothing else goes well, you can still post on Newgrounds, you can still post on YouTube, and if you get noticed, you get legitimacy attached to your name. And if you're considered legit, like this guy, he made, we'll just say Metal Gear Awesome, because that's Ego Raptor's claim to fame. That's one everybody knows. This is the guy who made Metal Gear Awesome. You can use that. That like looks great in a portfolio. But that being said, I don't own an animation studio, so I can't say for sure.
Everything works and this is from beginning. Everything that's ever gotten big, the person just happened to be having the right skills at the right time, and technology was just right there and ready for him. Like I mean, let's go back even to like Walt Disney, right? So he just happened to be at the right age, at the right time, and had the right skill set and the right connections. And this technology of animation was growing and expanding, and he just like he just happened to be there. Like John Lasseter happened to be with this ragtag group of programmers that weren't making any money, they weren't making any profits, and he did animation for this like graphics company, this program graphic company, and it then formed Pixar. He just happened to be right there at the right time. Like he just happened to be on the Queens, the Mary Queens or whatever, the boat in Long Island Beach in Southern California. He just happened to be at the right party and talk to the right guy. There's a big luck factor in it.
So always hit those angles. I think that's what I gained from that. Like, if you want to skew things in your favor, you need to apply for every job, talk to everybody that you can, make as many friends as possible. Don't do it in an obnoxious way, though. Like, when I say make friends, don't say, hey, add me, hey, add me, hey, add me. Go on Twitter, find somebody that you like, and say, hey, I really like your work. I think you're doing pretty good. This is my favorite thing that you do. I do stuff, too. If you ever want to talk someday, send me a message. And most of the time, people will be pretty responsive if they know that you're real.
Oh, yeah.
That's, that's
I'm
how
really
I met
proud of
Emily.
this.
Like, I just said, hey, Emily, I really love your stuff. I've been watching you for a long time. I think you're great. If you ever want to come on my show, I'd love to talk animation. Then I met her. She jumped on the show. Real nice person. Then I met Petey through her. And I met all the people like Sweetcommando and Return of the Goo through Danger Dolan by getting that job. And when you meet all these people, I'm not saying that you should call in favors or anything like that, but it does give you a more clear sight of how things work.
Dude, I don't want to be like okay, so the way you're kind of presenting this, it kind of sounds like, like I mean, obviously, like you're trying to put the spotlight on you, but just look at it from our audience perspective, right? So if they, obviously, like someone.
Now, Petey, if you
Just
gotta
say-
burn me, go ahead and do it. That's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Okay, shut up. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, shut up. You're putting the spotlight on you, and you're going like, "Look at me. Look what I've done, and look at all these popular people I know, and blah blah." Dude, like it's really degrading to someone who's trying to get there and who feels like shit in the chat. Like,
That's a good point.
yeah.
I guess all I'm trying to say is that you
it can come off wrong.
yeah, I often come off wrong. Thanks for saying that, Petey. The thing I like about you is that you're honest.
Yeah, just like.
But what I'm trying to say is work hard and build a portfolio is really what I'm saying. It legitimizes what you do.
Actually, yeah, it's the beautiful thing about animation is that there is no bullshit. The hiring process of an animation studio is you have to submit a demo reel, and I can, when I look at demo reels, I can tell in like 5 seconds like if this person is a valid candidate or not, and I could look at their demo reel and I'd be like, no, this is garbage, and I just toss it out. There's really no bullshit, because if your demo reel is selected after, and I have other stuff to do that day, and I'll be looking through 200 demo reels. I don't got time to sit through 200 5-minute demo reels. You gotta impress me within 5 seconds or it's going into the trash.
Yeah. And that makes
Because
a lot of sense, and I guess that's really what I was trying to say, in that
Yeah.
you really need to build a portfolio. It doesn't matter who you know, really. But
Well,
if
then-
you want to know people and you want to impress people, you're not going to be able to do it if you have nothing.
And then on top of that, you'll have if they're selected, if their demo reel is selected, they will be sent an animation test because they're like, okay, so this is in their demo reel. It looks like they can, but now they need to prove it, and we always give them a ridiculous animation test to do, and tell them we don't spend a lot of time on it because we want to see what you do within 1 day or 2 days of animating, as opposed to like spending a whole bunch of months. Because I can actually tell more about an animator if they can get like a whole bunch of stuff done in a day. Imagine what they could do in a week. Because you got to know what you're doing to dish out an animation in a day, like especially in 3D. Like I will be checking your rigs and I'll be picking it apart. And if it's sent back then within that deadline, it's like, oh shit, this person like sent that back. All right, let's go through their work with a freaking microscope. And then if you pass that, all right, then we will take time aside from our extremely busy day and we will have an interview with you. And the interview process can last up to like 2 hours, all right? And we will sit there and we'll talk to you and just ask you questions, because at this point you're already hired. We just got to see if you mesh with the team.
Yeah, and that makes complete sense. Like, and I know I'm going back to it, but that does apply to making contacts. You can't expect somebody to say, I mean, everybody can send out a message and say that they're this and that they're that and blah, 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 blah. But if you don't have something to prove that you're real and not just, I mean, you could just be a fucking spam bot for all anybody knows.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'm saying is that, okay, so like Hellbent, all right, if you could animate and you could get to the stage, and then you got on that mic and you started like talking about you and all of your accomplishments, man, you probably wouldn't be selected, because we would just get so fucking tired of spending 10 hours a day with you and you talking about your greatest accomplishments and stuff. Like, it would get so fucking we'd just like start tearing out our hairs, right?
Yep. Oh, I know.
Speed with you. Real with you.
Hey,
There's
I like it, Pete.
normally a lot of separation between voice actors and animators.
Hey, I understand. You have to have a thick skin either way. So if you can't handle somebody telling you, oh man, this piece of your personality is super fucking annoying, please stop it. If you can't handle that, then you really, you don't have a place anywhere. Like, even in like bottom rung, like, okay, let's say I was working my first job, GameStop. If I went into GameStop and I was like, Hellbent, my coworkers at the very least would hate me. And if I didn't have good numbers, they'd let me go.
Yeah.
I'm so good at video games. That's the person. Yeah, we had those personalities at GameStop. I'm so good at video games. I'm the best at video games. I'm the best. You all suck. And those people, we fucking hated them.
Yeah, those kids that come in and talk like talk themselves up.
Oh, you play Halo? Oh, I had somebody like that, and we'll go back to animation, but I love this story. We had a guy who would come in every week, and he'd say, oh, yeah, you like Halo? Yeah, I'm really good at Halo. I bet I'd kick your ass. How about you give me your gamer tag, and we'll play, and I'll kick your ass. Nobody gave him their gamer tag. That person spent... I wager that person played Halo alone for a long time.
Oh, see, it's a beautiful thing about demo reel. They're like, oh, yeah, I can animate in, like, Disney style. Oh, really? It's a link to your demo reel.
Yeah, and that doesn't require your interaction at all. You just request the demo reel.
That's why I love it.
No skin off your neck. But let's...
talk about more positive things in animation.
Yeah. You know what? I brought it to a negative place. Let's go back to animation.
Beat you back with my positive stick. There's a big plus sign at the end of it, so it smacks you in the face, and you get a whole bunch of plus signs all over you.
Okay, well, let me end it on one thing. Petey, thanks for being honest. Honesty for any type of labor. If you're not honest, then you're just setting up problems. It's like letting an infection go untreated. But beyond all that,
what's the other guy in the car?
Topic that's always interested me. Oh, what was that?
What about the other guy in the car? He went silent.
Oh, yeah. Sweetcommando? Hey, Sweetcommando.
I'm dying, guys.
Why are you dying?
Natural causes.
Oh man, I'm dying too. I'm breathing oxygen.
Oh
Slowly,
shit.
slowly killing me. I
I'm
know.
hellbent. I'm perfect. So, Sweet Commando, what's your biggest interest in animation? Like, what keeps you here?
Well, oh shit. I'd say it's not exactly the animation aspect. I just want to tell a really good story with animation.
I can get that. I mean, to tell it, being a storyteller feels good because you get to express lots of different things. You get to express different ideas in your head. You get to express your emotions, and it doesn't become a me thing. It's like, here's this world, enjoy it, kind of thing.
Yeah, like I guess it's more of a personal thing that you're telling, like you're telling the story visually rather than like in a book or whatever. So I guess it's more like personal with the viewer.
Yeah,
Also, I
you
just want to make
unless
it look
you
fucking
bring out
cool. So
emotions, you show them things that they may have never thought they'd seen in their lives. It's like I have a hard time expressing, and maybe Petey has some insight on that.
Um, I butts,
There you go, butts.
butts,
Well, I'm
big.
glad we resolved that
Yeah,
piece of
big
conversation.
booties,
I
big,
was hoping for something more like a Shakespearean, like
big,
I do this to elicit. No, never mind. Fuck it.
big butts.
Big butts. I think Vim can agree with that. I love Vim's drawings. He's fucking amazing. But let's see. We talked about a lot of fun stuff today. Should have wrote down some questions. You know, I started this late. It's all fucked up, but we've had fun. Any other topics anybody can think about animation-wise that we haven't covered yet? Like,
Oh! I got a question. So, what is the most common question that you always get?
what program do you use?
I know.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
You know
so
what I
I
do?
always.
You know what I send them? I always send them a clip of an animation that's on paper, and the character just goes like, "Oh, neat!" And it just the title just says, "What program do you use to animate with?" And I just don't answer the question. I just send them that.
yeah, I get that. People ask me all the time what program we use here right now. And I try not to get annoyed by it because I understand these are like budding artists. People that just maybe they want to get into live streaming.
These are people
maybe
that
they
want
want
to
to get into
start.
animation, and they don't know why it annoys you. They don't know why why don't you just tell me, why don't you just go look it up, right? But
I
No,
feel
it's more like it. Okay, you start. You go.
it's like these people that look up to you say they want to be like you, so they want to start like you. So they want to know what exactly you do, but the first thing they got to know is what you use to do that. So yeah, it's just because they want to be
It's
like you, I guess.
it no. Well, for me, it feels like it just devalues exactly what I've learned and I've built for. So when you go up to someone, you're like, oh wow, that's like you would never go up to someone like a street artist and see that they're drawing this beautiful portrait with their pencil. You'd never walk up to them and go like, whoa, man, dude, what pencil are you using? I gotta get me one of those. Cause I wanna draw like this. So if they're holding like a number two like graphite pencil, like a yellow pencil, you're never like, oh man, what pencil are you using,
well,
man?
it just goes back to the old Nike commercial. It must be the shoes.
Yeah, it's
When
gotta
it's
be.
no, it's not the shoes. It's the fact that Michael Jordan like worked his ass off to be good at basketball. Okay, here's a question from David Doherty. When making a portfolio, what do you put into it in terms of artwork?
Um, I will answer that. You want to put in you. You want to put in stuff that you want to do. You want to put in stuff that you find funny. That basically will tell people who you are, because when they hire you, that's what they're going to expect. So I put in my pony stuff. I put in Pikachu smack his butt because that's funny to me. And people really get a sense of idea of what they're getting when they hire me. I don't try to impress anybody. I'd be like, this is my work. This is what I can do, and then I'll throw in like a client stuff, like um, uh, you know, client stuff. But the most vital, important thing that I will stress to you so much with a portfolio. Now, I'm just only talking about an animation-specific portfolio reel, like a demo reel. Is put your very best stuff first. Wow me with your opening piece, because if you don't, it's going in the trash, because I have so much more to go through.
You have finite time, yeah. So, if
Also-
the first minute doesn't catch you, I got a feeling you're not going to look at the next 10.
Also, if you're posting up a link onto onto like a video site, like if it's Vimeo or YouTube or whatever, don't have a title slate to your video. Like I see a lot of animes, they'll have like a 5-second like slate with their information on that. No, I can see your information on the page down below. Don't waste my time with a 5-second title slate.
Ooh, okay, I am interrupting you on this, but I don't think anything on YouTube needs a title slate. I think that's a massive waste of time of your viewers.
Actually, I really do like the title slate for Spooky Kabuki, but that's not a demo reel. That's not like a professional demo reel.
Right,
That's
and
like
it goes
an animation.
double for a portfolio. Like, if Petey's watching a demo reel, he doesn't need to see the doot,
Yeah.
doot, 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 I'm hellbent. That adds no value to it.
Yeah. But I really personally love the title slate of Spooky Kabuki because it's just like, "Bon!" It just like grabs the audience and smacks them in the face and like, you're watching a fucking cartoon, man. Let's get it on.
Yeah, title slate's a very tough thing to do, and I'll show another example animation. A lot of people rag on Family Guy, but it's an easy show to rag on. The intro for Family Guy gives me a headache. So, if you're gonna do an introduction to anything, make sure you can listen to it 100 times.
Well, just know your audience. If you don't know your audience, like, okay, so when you submit a demo reel to a studio, your audience is the very busy worker who's taking time out of his day to review these demo reels, and you got to cater it to them. A lot of times, if I'm applying for jobs, I will edit my demo reel to cater to that specific job I'm applying for. I don't have like this generalized shotgun of demo reels that I just fire off. And that's a lot of things that'll say importance too. If someone edited their demo reel to cater to what they're applying for, like I have other stuff, but this is the demo reel I want to show you. I'm like, oh man, they spent time and edited something together just for me. Like, oh, that makes me feel special. Like I know this person's gonna work.
Yeah, everybody, when they're watching media, especially if it's being submitted to them, if you make them feel special, like you care about them, and you're not just, I'm just shooting this off to 100 people hoping it sticks, I can wager that means a lot. It shows that you care about the place that you're trying to work at, like you want to be there, like it's a dream for you.
Yeah, like, so it's like getting a fake email from a spam bot. They're like, dude, I like, oh, Mister, and then they have like your channel name there. Like, your artist is really, really good, and I had this idea for this job, and you could tell the way it's written, they shot it out to 100 other people. You're not gonna respond to that.
Yeah. No,
But if you
that's
know-
kind of what I was trying to say earlier when I got all like egomaniac and I started jacking myself off. It needs to sound sincere. It needs to not just sound sincere, but it needs to be sincere.
But most important, don't if you believe that you have to do certain things to impress people, like art that you don't want to do to impress people, so you can get a job as you. Just don't do that. It's not worth it. You'll be hired to do the things that you don't want to work on. So you can. I will not do anime style. I fucking hate anime. All right. I'm not gonna animate anime style and put it in my demo reel because what if I get a job doing anime? No.
Ooh, yeah, then you're living the nightmare instead of the dream.
Like.
Well, okay, we've beaten this topic to death. Let's go to something a little bit more lighthearted and fun. And I'm gonna defer to Sweetcommando on this one. What's your favorite thing about Newgrounds.com?
Let's see. You know those meet and fuck games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those.
No, because they're
I
just
don't know,
ripping
I like
off
the
anime
community.
from different animes and like either just straight up ripping the art or tracing it. Yeah, it's just the
Tom Fulp's ass.
ooh.
Oh shit.
Big
Have you
I like the
no,
community, guys.
Have you
That's it.
seen his ass? I remember walking behind him last Pico Day, and I was walking to Dunkin' Donuts, and I was like kind of hungover, I was tired, and Tom Fulp was walking in front of me, and I remember looking down, and he's wearing this like tight skinny jeans, and his badonkadonk is just like perfectly moving within the jeans, and I'm like, damn, man, I really want to draw that ass.
Man, they need like a Newgrounds swimsuit calendar.
No, but he's a really good guy. I love how one thing. Okay, so one thing I really love about Newgrounds is the comment system is made to um uh is there to improve the artist's art. You don't have flame roars in the comment system. You have one comment to post under the that title, and if you waste that one comment, you can only say, because it's not a comment, it's a review, and if you get one chance, you can lay out your entire review, and if you waste that review on just saying you're a fucking fag, everyone will know you wasted your one chance to say something under that thing.
Oh, that's such a brilliant method. YouTube
And
really needs that, to be honest.
and that's it. And the also beautiful part about it is that the artist who posted the art is the only one who can respond to the comments. So the artist always gets the last word.
Yeah, exactly. Because I like how like once you do that, once someone gives you shit, and then you just say something back, and that's it. You can't really do anything else about it. Like they're the end. It's like it's over.
And their blaming system. I like their blaming system.
I actually do like the blaming system. This is coming from a guy who had several things blamed way back in the
Yeah,
day.
me too. My first like 3 things were blamed.
They didn't blame Exodus 17 though, of all things. I'm surprised. It's like it's hovering at 2.5, which isn't a great review, but that's how much work I put into it. So there you go.
Yeah, and it's still very community based. It's not turning into this like giant advertising conglomerate like YouTube is. It's very close knit. But I've kind of, the hardest thing about it is that getting the general public to just traffic to go there. And I talked to Tom about it, about the how to get people to go and to traffic to go to Newgrounds. And Google, if you're a competitor against Google and their precious YouTube, they are a bully. Holy shit, the things that Google does towards Newgrounds to squash it is just unreal.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, like, if this is my personal opinion, if I was going to try to make Newgrounds bigger, I would go right for the smartphone market, which they own Android for the most part. So you're pretty much cut out there. You'd have to go for Apple.
Well, yeah, well, Tom will have to rewrite Newgrounds on an entirely different platform to be able to run on the app market. So here's the thing with everyone's getting fed up with YouTube and how they're treating creators and all this stuff. But I mean, so you're allowed as a content creator to go and pay for a server, and you can upload like whatever you want on that server for the internet, and like have your content there. If all you want to do is post content on the internet, you can do it on like a personal server that's distributed out on the internet. However, Google knows that no one will ever visit your server, because what Google can do is that they'll just take it off the first page of search results. When you type in the keywords to that server, it just won't appear there.
And all the good website names are taken. So even if you do catch, a lot of attention on Twitter or Tumblr or one of these other social media websites, Facebook, people are still gonna have a hard time finding you, because it's not like you can be like, oh, I'll just bring it back on me. Well, nah, never mind. Fuck that. I've done that enough.
Yeah.
Returnofthegoo.com. That's still going to be hard for people to find, even if it's ridiculously simple like that. If Google squashes you, you don't stand a chance.
Well, I mean, and you can argue against that, and it's like, well, you would be on first page in search results on Bing, and then everyone scoffs at who uses Bing, la la ha. And Google knows this. They know that they're the cool kids on the block, and everyone uses searches with them, so they know that you really don't have a choice.
And they can squash bad news. So if you talk shit about Google, then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you just disappear. Oh, it must be the algorithm. Sorry, buddy. So, damn it. I clear my throat.
So, but all that. So, as an animator, just don't fucking think about these things. Just make good animations and then just expect to work for someone like Doland. And Doland's a good boss, right?
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's a great boss, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, work for Doland, or I'll like work for the channel I Hate Everything. That's just the way animation has grown into. If you want to be an animator on the internet,
Yeah, I
find a
mean,
big,
there
find a
have
big
been
channel and
collaborative
animate.
efforts like
Yeah, but the problem is, oh yeah, that's the thing I love about Newgrounds. So a collaborative effort, it appears on everyone's channel and gallery. If it's a collaborative effort, everyone gets a piece of the pie. On YouTube, if it's a collaborative effort, whatever channel is uploaded on gets all the credit.
yeah, that's not great. There's options to give people credit, and I've tried it before, and it still buries your name very deeply. So unless you got like, well, we'll put Dolan for example, Dolan where he has the money to hire us and pay us, a collaborative effort's not going to do well if everybody's starting on the same level. At least on YouTube. On Newgrounds, different. Like you said, everybody gets their credit. And that's very important. I mean, you should do things for the love of it. But if you're really good at something, you shouldn't always do it for free. And credit is important. No matter how selfless you are, no matter how much you say you're not an egomaniac, you don't make stuff for it to not be seen and to not be credited for it. That's super important.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and Jonathan Godiski, I do read the chat. Hi.
Yeah, we read the chat. I'm just trying to keep it focused on animation. And, you know, I could answer a bunch of questions about myself because, you know, I love it. And, you know, that's just how it is. Let's get back to animation, though.
All right, so this is looking a lot better than what we start out. So I start out with this today, which is like really shaky, and then we're cleaning it up and. So yeah, oh, that's a very reserved.
Oh, that brings up a really good question that I had. What do you think is the most important technical skill to learn to be a good animator? Like, what's the first skill that you should probably try to learn? Beyond, like, you know, learning your own style and that kind of thing, I'm talking about what should you know how to do to be able to make a character move?
Well, noticing scope creep, that is a very important thing. So don't let your ideas get too ambitious, and you can get something done and out the door. That's always good. Knowing when to let go is another thing, and trusting yourself. Yeah, just trusting yourself in the lines. Just get it done. I don't know, like it's a very that covers a really broad fucking topic.
All right,
like,
let me narrow the scope a bit then.
Yeah.
Okay, you've already explained this to me, but let me ask you in a way that you can explain to everybody else. I noticed that you do a little rough sketch of each character before you actually do the final lining work and all that. Almost like a stick figure, but there's another name for it.
Oh, it's called gesture drawing. All right. So if I'm gonna, it's very important. Okay. So I see a lot of animators. They start out and they'll try to like do a perfect drawing of that character. Like it looks really good. The lines are really clean or whatever. But I mean, let's be honest here, people. If it doesn't move right, I mean, if you animated a fat character like a thin character, or if it's a really like subtle, it's supposed to be like a really subtle movement and he's bouncing around the room, it's not gonna work. Like it's not gonna work right. So you still have to throw it away because it's a shitty animation. So what you do is called the thing called gesture drawing, where you can draw the character and get your forms down really, really quickly, and you don't have to worry about how well the drawing looks because you get the weight and the motion right, and that is the most important thing to focus on. Because remember, you're adding another dimension to your art, the dimension of time, and so it has to be, done. it has to move right. So here he is. He's like, yay! And then we can, when you go to the next frame, it could be, you can go over here, and his arms could be over there, and then his, let's say his legs gets kicked out, so it's, and this is not a clean drawing by any means, but at least it's getting done fast, and you can see how your shot is going to look before you do the art of cleanup, which is then production really just like stops, and it's really grueling, and normally you pay someone else to do all your cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, Petey, you're a professional, but look how quick you did that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're trying to, and this is the mistake that I made even back on my stuff, which I'm not even a good like graphics artist. I'm not even good at like doing a single frame. But yeah, if you try to, like you said, do it like Vim's drawing over there on the right, which I know Petey can't see right now, but if you try to animate based on those drawings, and that's where your motion's coming from, you're gonna waste a lot of time, I'd think.
Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't move right, it doesn't matter how well technically done the drawing is, you still have to throw it away. And then you go through and you get it, then you go through and you make clean drawings that everyone expects you to make. And that's a long and grueling process.
Well, that was the answer I was looking for, Petey.
Yeah.
I kind of, when you talked to me about this and I was observing you doing it and I learned what it was, it actually opened my eyes a lot to what I was doing wrong, even though I may not ever get into the type of animation that you guys do. That seems to be like the most important technical skill you need to learn and try to master right away.
Mm-hmm. And then, you can have the head kind of go back a little bit. And here's his, this is where his chest cavity is. So his chest is going to kind of start to come forward. And then his hands kind of coming down.
And it looks really fun to do.
Yeah. And then, so here goes like that.
And there's not as much pressure to like, I mean, you could publish it like that, and I'm sure people would enjoy it, but there's not as much pressure like, okay, I gotta publish this. This is like laying down important framework that has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate you showing me that, man.
Yeah, hang on, I got an idea. I'm gonna take it. So, and then it kind of flips, so it's just so.
I like the sound of Petey animating. It sounds like somebody playing Airplane.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't be afraid to make noises and weird faces as you're animating, because you're just kind of like feeling it out. Okay,
it's like
so
making love. Oh, now you're getting into depth.
Yeah. Woo!
I didn't even consider this as being an important tool for death, but now that I'm seeing you do it, like, yeah, that makes way more sense than just drawing it like.
Yeah, so let's bring this foot over here a little bit. So let's go what, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna delete that, and we're gonna have his foot stretch. So here's the heel, and it goes up, and then it goes up to a point right there. Right, let's go up even there. There you go. So that's a smear frame, but I don't like that smear. So we're just gonna delete. See, I can see that's not working. It's not what I want. I can delete it. I'm not invested.
Waste like an hour.
Yeah, I'm not
making
invested
it look
in my
really
drawing.
good at that angle.
So I'm gonna bring his foot out here, all right? And I'm gonna bring the foot here. So there's the heel. Here's the top of the toe. There's the ankle. It's coming in. So it's coming around town. Bring it around town. And there's a what? But I wanna curve this. So.
Oh yeah, Toon Boom's resize tool's way better than Flash. I think that's worth mentioning. If anybody's watching this thinking if they're gonna do this in Flash, you may run into some struggles.
Yeah, I'm gonna point the heel out a little bit more. Yeah, see, that's a lot better. And then so
smear frames are great. Anytime I'm watching a cartoon and I pause, especially older ones on a smear frame, you get some really interesting expressions. It's an abstract concept, really. Like that one frame looks completely unusable, but then once you play the video, it's like, oh, it works. I get it now.
Well, yeah, during fast motions, you have like a you have camera blur, so on. Let's get. Yeah, I gotta keep track of his chest cavity. So his chest cavity is going up like that. Okay, and then that's going back. Here's his chin, right? So then we're coming in here. So jump.
Well, while you iron that out, Petey, I believe Sweet Commando may be running low on time.
Oh, okay.
So
I
if
can
he's still
sit. I can
here.
sit around for like another 20 minutes. It's cool.
Okay, since you got another 20 minutes, I got at least one more question for you.
Hit me up.
Who's your favorite animator right now? Or what's your favorite cartoon? Dealer's choice.
Shit. I don't know. I've just now I've instantly forgotten every single animator.
Well, at the moment, so it may not be your favorite of all time. But what's the first one that pops to mind?
I'd say Pikapetey right here.
Ooh, Petey.
Yeah, right now I'm fucking impressed, but because I never really seen him like in work in progress or anything from him. I just see his final cartoons, but this is really fucking cool.
And
It is fun watching Petey work.
then so it could be like. Wait, I gotta have a thicker line right here. So damn.
Now we're just gonna watch Petey. It's
Yeah.
so hypnotic, isn't it?
Ah, fuck. And then you could have like a big impact.
I'd say if I had to pick favorite animators right now, number one would honestly be Film Cow. Not because of technical level, just because he's doing something completely different. Then number two is literally everybody at Planet Dolan, because you guys are awesome. And then I guess Petey's number three. Now, you know, that's a bad question because then you get into favoritism, and that's not great. But, you know, that's the nature of asking random questions without preparing them. Now, when I ask favorite, I'm not saying favorite of all time or who do you think is the best. Just, you know,
Hold
who
up,
you
my
enjoy.
mic was off this entire time. I'm back now, guys. What's up?
What's up?
And then we could have like his the roll backwards a little bit, like, and then his so his body kind of comes up like that, like. So if there's his spine, and then his butt is right there. Gotta have the booty, and then. Wait, so his foot is back there, so.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most important animation lesson I've ever had. Because, you know, without that motion, you end up looking like Family Guy. To where everything's kind of, it's like it's a puppet, but it's not a puppet. It's just, eh.
Yeah, so that's the rough stage that you never really see, and then this would take like. So now that I know that the motion could be good, then then you go through and you make it all like nice and clean. Ooh, dish. That'd be a really cool like falling motion in a fight scene, just tumbling over like that.
Yeah, not only do you have the motion, but the depth. You know, I think that's part of what impresses me so much about this particular example, in that not only are you showing the importance of using that style for motion, but depth is really hard, and a lot of people, me included, especially me, don't do depth very well.
Yeah, depth is pretty hard. That's why it was really hard to do this character, because I was like, okay, so because I was given the model sheets and here's like the character, but I really like this design because it's a little bit more simpler. And then I was like, wow, this is like a really feminine, male character, and I really want it, to be like a really conservative, like reserved character. So my tendencies is to animate like wacky, crazy perspective stuff, like this. Like this is what I love to animate, like wee, and I love to do all this like weird, crazy, wacky stuff. So to animate something for me that's like very, very subtle and very, very reserved, took me a couple of tries because it was out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad I'm pulling it off. I'm like, yeah, it's like really, still a little bit more animation than I really want, but it's not as reserved that I really wanted it to be, but it's good enough. So
Well, I think you'll be hard pressed to find somebody who's interested in animation who doesn't want to animate outrageous, incredible things.
yeah.
It's kind of like the classical artists. Like that stuff always blew my mind because I could never see myself doing anything Michelangelo did.
All right. Well, it's like 10 o'clock. Normally, I end my stream at 9. So
Well, hey, Petey, thanks for joining us, man.
yeah.
And
So
as
yeah, I
always,
gotta.
thanks for your honesty. Your nickname for me is Honest Pete. You can always trust him. If I'm going to end on anything, let me just say this. Always be willing to accept criticism from everybody. Don't reject it.
Oh yeah, don't fight it. All you gotta do is like smile and nod and be like, "Oh, those are interesting points," and then you walk away and you split, and then it's your job as an artist to whether to listen to it or to ignore it, and then you don't have to like let the other person know. They could just
No, I mean, like, if it's, like, helpful criticism, I guess you can always improve on that, like, it would be wise to improve, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, it's but sometimes you get like legit good criticism to like what you can improve upon, but then they don't know like the other factors into play. Like, yes, those are some really good points. I really wanted to do those, but unfortunately, the time budget. And so even then, you don't say that to the person giving you legit criticism. You just say, "Oh man, those are some really good points." Like, thank you. You always thank them,
Yeah, don't
and
Yeah,
fight
like,
it.
if someone gives me a really long bad review on Newgrounds, I just always say, thanks, dude, I'll try, work on that next time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
we're
do,
gonna
most
next
of the time
time.
I do.
And I'll reiterate, it's doubly important. If somebody's a massive dick in their critique and they're wrong about everything, don't fight them. You've already got the spotlight. You're good. You've won.
Oh yeah, like
Oh, good.
even then, like, because here's what could happen to you. Like, let's say you fight all critique, even a good critique or whatever, but and let's say you are doing stuff legit wrong as an artist, is a far worse fate for everyone to give up giving you a critique and let you stumble around and not know why your art is shitty, and each time will convince you, no, it's good, just keep doing what you're doing, and they'll just like watch you like stumble over and over again. It's a far worse fate, and that will happen if you just fight critiquing, because everyone will just give up trying. Like, why am I wasting my time on this person who's not even going to listen to me anyways and doesn't even hear what I'm trying to say? So I'll just let them suck. I'll let them suck. I'll let them be the person that walks into American Idol and belch out a song because they legit think that they can sing, and we'll just laugh at them.
Which is super cruel, but yeah, that's another reason why I fully invite you or anybody else to tell me that I'm being an egomaniacal asshole. Tell me. Or else I'm just going to be out there going, yes, me. You got to be able to accept that, and don't let it hurt you. That's the main thing. Even honest critique can hurt somebody, but you let it hurt you. You gotta look at it as a tool for you to improve yourself, not a personal attack. Which I think that's a mistake a lot of artists make. Any critique for a lot of certain people, they feel like it's a personal attack, like somebody saying you're ugly and stupid. But really, it's like, no. If you added a few more frames on that walk cycle, it would look smoother. Maybe you couldn't do it. Maybe it's not in the time frame. But it's still honest critique. They're trying to help you for the most part. And if somebody doesn't want to help you, fuck them. let them complain. That's fine. But I think we've hit ending points. So I'll let Petey and Sweetcommando get on with their day. Thanks for jumping on, guys.
No problem.
Oh, and it's good being on your stream too, Petey. I realize that we're
Yeah, it's fun.
doing this on several ends. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yep.
All right, well, that's all from that's all from me. That's all from Petey. That's all from Sweetcommando. Check out their stuff. I don't have any links. I'll put some links in the description later. All right, bye everybody. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Actually, have a good evening.